When you drop a 603 horsepower V8 bi-turbo engine into one of Mercedes Benz finest luxury sedans, what do you get? You get the out of the way. 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds. The Mercedes AMG.
There are moments when the future arrives right before our eyes. Our ideas of what is stylish, smart, or efficient become transformed. And the world as we know it is forever changed. The introduction of the all-new E-Class could very well be one of those times. It is the future of the automobile today. A cutting-edge luxury sports sedan that represents the very latest in an uncompromising vision that Mercedes-Benz calls intelligent drive. A commitment to transforming not just the automobile, but the very idea of mobility itself. This is perhaps the most technologically sophisticated vehicle on the road today. One that takes major steps toward an accident-free and autonomous driving future. With a 360-degree network of cameras, radars, and other sensors, this E-Class continually monitors its surroundings to help avoid danger. It's not just safe, it's practically self-aware. Also available is the groundbreaking Drive Pilot system, an enhanced version of Distronic Plus with Steering Pilot. This system can follow road markings and adjust to the speed of traffic ahead. This, in combination with other features, would practically allow for extended driving periods without interference from the driver. A semi-autonomous driving automobile. Not tomorrow, but today. Of course, it's recommended you keep your hands on the wheel at all times. And that's understandable, since this car practically demands to be driven. The driving dynamics in this next generation E-Class are second to none, all backed by an equally impressive array of optional driver assistance features. Steering Pilot keeps the car centered in its lane on straight roads and slight bends, while Active Lane Change Assist, an all-new feature, will assist the driver when changing lanes. Once the driver activates the turn indicator, if the car does not detect another vehicle nearby, it will take over and move into a lane by itself through means of steering torque. There's also optional pre-safe impulse side. In the event of an unavoidable side impact, an air cushion in the seat bolster will push the occupant away from the door and toward the center of the vehicle, potentially reducing the load of the impact on the passenger. Pre-save sound, another Mercedes-Benz first, also goes into effect before impact. This ingenious safety feature uses the car's own sound system to emit a short interference signal that triggers the ear's stapedius reflex, causing a tiny muscle to contract in the middle ear and helping to reduce any hearing loss that may result from a loud crash. Simply incredible. But the technology alone is not what sets the E-Class apart. The sweeping new front and rear design, new radiator grille, striking new LED headlamps, and optional 18-inch sport wheels exude the sporty elegance and style that are the trademarks of Mercedes-Benz. While inside, cutting-edge technologies are perfectly balanced by an abundance of creature comforts you never dreamed possible in one place before. Touch control buttons on the steering wheel allow the driver to access all parts of the command infotainment system and instrument cluster with the mere flick of a finger, while keeping their hands on the wheel and eyes on the road. The soothing ambient lighting can be configured in 64 different colors, while an extra-wide color screen displays your entire world in high definition. From the optional leather upholstery and heated steering wheel to the panorama roof and head-up display, every detail is fully thought out. Every interaction simple and second nature. This new E-Class gives high-tech the human touch. And yet sometimes, this car requires no human touch at all. Optional Parking Pilot lets you surrender control entirely to the vehicle, ensuring a perfect parking job all by itself. It's clear to see This is a massive technological leap for Mercedes Benz. The innovations inside this vehicle take safety, stress relief, and comfort to a whole new level. And one day, we'll be seen inside every other car out on the road. But for now, you'll find them in just one, the all-new next-generation E-Class. Welcome.
The light of the dawn has no meaning. You're lost in the haze of the night. I can see what it is you believe in. I can see you've got so much to hide. I can be what you want me to be. Don't just give me the words. Don't be setting it free. I'll be fine, I'll be free. I'll hold on to the faith right here, right
(2018) Mercedes Benz E-Class diesels. The list of Dieselgate victims is not limited to those who believed the hype and availed themselves of those dirty, cheating Volkswagens, Audis, and Porsches. The scandal also sent tremors through the wider industry. While some automakers have chosen to weather the storm and keep selling diesels in the United States, Jaguar Land Rover has launched its new generation Ingenium diesel engines, and Chevrolet sells the Cruze and Equinox diesels. Others have hit pause. And there's the strong sense that, at many automakers, the corporate finger is hanging over the stop button. Highs. Brisk acceleration, E350D, relaxed demeanor, general E-Class goodness. Lows. Not as quiet as some competitors, not sold here. That's certainly the case with Mercedes-Benz and its E-Class. Despite being one of the pioneers of diesel passenger cars in the States with an impressive percentage of its seemingly unkillable 300DS still chugging along 4 decades later, Mercedes has cold feet. The brand put a moratorium on US sales of new diesels in May, and we don't sense any sign of it reversing that position. Which is a shame, as it denies us some of the finest engines that Mercedes currently produces, as confirmed by driving the 2018 versions of the Europe spec E350D and E220D. Happy Union. The E-Class fundamentals are the same on both sides of the Atlantic. German dentists appreciate the same sense of quality as Floridian ones do. The European iteration of the current W213 generation car shares the same understated good looks, immaculately crafted cabin, and sense of dynamic stability. But the union with the big turbocharged 3.0-liter diesel V6 that powers the range-topping E350D is a particularly happy one. Part of the long-serving OM642 engine family, this V6 is a direct descendant of the engine that did duty in the previous generation E350 Bluetech sold here. Displacement is unchanged at 2,987 cubic centimeters, but output has risen by 44 horsepower to 254 and is accompanied by 457 lb-ft of torque, which is available from just 1,600 rpm. The car we drove was rear-wheel drive, although all-wheel drive also is available. Both versions use the same 9-speed automatic transmission shared with the entire E-Class range. The engine statistics perfectly reflect this power plant's low-down urge and relaxed progress. The diesel pulls strongly from its modest torque peak and upward, and the gearbox shifts intelligently to keep revs down. A gentle accelerator application will deliver forceful quickening. The E350D pulls away from traffic even if you restrict yourself to the top inch of the pedal's travel. But pushing harder delivers more, with the transmission switching out of its miser mode, where it upshifts as quickly as possible, to a more aggressive map that keeps the engine in its deep-chested mid-range. What it doesn't do is rev. According to Mercedes, peak power arrives at a modest 3,400 RPM, and even under the hardest use the E350DS engine won't spin beyond 4,000 RPM, a long way short of the 5,250 RPM redline that is marked in pixels on the digital instrument cluster. This is not the most civilized of diesel power plants, but only in comparison with the increasing excellence of some of the competition. The E350D is far from the sort of loudish anvil chorus that used to mark compression ignition, without any clattering or harsh harmonics and with only the slightest vibration through the steering wheel at idle. But it is a measure louder than the freakishly quiet BMW 530D when pushed. Nor can it match the urge of diesel-powered leviathans such as the Audi SQ7 and Bentley Bentayga SUVs, that are mechanically related to each other. Performance feels brisk rather than rapid, despite the E350D's ability to hit the same 155 miles per hour limiter that Mercedes fits to most of its quicker European offerings. Attempting to match the automaker's claim of a 5.9 second 0 to 62 mph time would miss the car's laid-back mission. While the Mercedes-AMG E43 has impressed us with its ability to play both limo and sports sedan, the E350D never rises to the same level of athleticism. It can be hustled at a decent pace with good steering and accurate responses. But it doesn't relish harder use in the way the junior AMG version does. This car's Sport and Sport Plus dynamic modes fail to deliver the same Jekyll to Hyde personality switch that they do in the E43. The diesel feels more stolid and less wieldy, front-end grip fading to understeer in tighter turns. It's far happier at a loping pace, with the optional air body control suspension giving outstanding compliance over poor highway surfaces. In the interest of sampling the full platter of forbidden fruit, we also had a turn in the four-cylinder E220D, which uses Mercedes' OM654 engine, a new architecture developed at huge cost. The E220D falls some way short of the E350D in terms of both power and performance, with 192 horsepower and 295 lb-ft of torque. The E220D lacks the E350D's effortless muscularity and needs considerably more accelerator pressure to deliver a similar level of perceived acceleration. Yet it's no slouch. Benz's claim of a 7.3 second 0 to 62 mph time is pretty much identical to the time we extracted from the old 6-cylinder E350 Bluetech. Downsizing brings other benefits, though. While still no track and field star, the E220D feels more agile and responsive when asked to change direction. Thanks to reduced weight over the front wheels, Mercedes figures the car is about 260 pounds lighter than the 6-cylinder. The new engine is quieter than the V6 as well, and it is capable of delivering some seriously impressive fuel economy. The official European combined figure of 72 mpg is as fanciful as these things tend to be, but in real-world use owners are reporting better than 45 mpg. In our hearts we know it's unlikely that Mercedes will bring any more diesels to the United States. There's certainly no realistic prospect of the four-cylinder E220D making it here, not without the sort of oil crisis that leads to Thunderdomes being built and Tina Turner wearing chainmail. Yet there is a fleeting chance that the E350D might return at some point. It's a hope worth holding onto.